This is for everyone who is interested in Advaita Vedanta, for which Sri Vidyaranya Swami created this amazing work called Panchadashi. This has some easy-to-understand terms and definitions to tune the mind for the study of the grand non-dual philosophy of universal oneness. Sri Vidyaranya Swami, a profound philosopher and Advaita Vedanta scholar, is believed to have lived in the 14th century. He was instrumental in establishing the Vijayanagara Empire and served as a spiritual guide for 3 generations of its kings, living up to almost 95 years of age. Vidyaranya Swami's influence extends deeply into the realm of Advaita Vedanta as he propagated the teachings of Sri Adi Shankara during his tenure as the head of the Sringeri Sharada Pitha. Among his numerous contributions, the text Panchadashi stands out as a comprehensive manual of Advaita Vedanta, offering a systematic exposition of its core teachings. It leads a seeker holding the hand step by step out of the illusory world of duality into the understanding of all-pervading oneness. In fact, studying the Panchadashi either before studying the Srimad Bhagavad Gita or along with it can greatly help a seeker stay on the right path and not fall into duality when exploring the extensive metaphors and allegories used in almost all scriptures of Vedanta, including the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Structure and organization. 15 chapters. Panchadashi is meticulously structured into 15 distinct chapters in 3 sections, each dedicated to exploring a specific aspect of Advaita Vedanta. The 3 sections. These chapters are systematically grouped into 3 broad sections, each addressing different dimensions of the philosophy. Section 1. This section deals with the existential nature of Brahman, providing insights into its unchanging eternal essence. Section 2. This section delves into the intricate concept of consciousness, exploring the profound implications in the context of Advaita Vedanta. Section 3. The third section explores the nature of bliss, elaborating on how realizing Brahman leads to ultimate bliss and liberation. Core philosophical teachings. Brahman as the ultimate reality. Eternal and changeless. Panchadashi describes Brahman as the unchanging eternal essence that underlies all existence. It emphasizes that Brahman is the only reality and everything else is a mere appearance. Illusory nature of the world. The text asserts that the world we perceive is transient, changeable, and therefore not ultimately real. However, it is not dismissed as entirely non-existent, but is seen as a manifestation of ignorance or avidya. Illustrative analogies. Consider situations when you feel disturbed or even livid due to a certain situation or challenge. When a parent, spouse, sibling, friend, or any other well-wishing person helps you see the truth in the matter which you could not see due to your emotions, your thinking changes. You then look at the same situation differently, and the problem you had usually vanishes. This is because your reality totally depends on your perception. The analogies of the rope and snake, as well as that of gold and gold ornaments, are often used in the scriptures of Vedanta. They help in understanding the factor of illusion in whatever we perceive. Rope and snake. One of the most potent analogies used in scriptures of Advaita Vedanta is the misperception of a rope as a snake in dim light. This analogy is often employed to illustrate how ignorance causes fear and misconceptions which dissipate upon recognizing the true nature of the rope. Similarly, ignorance creates the illusion of the world, masking the true nature of Brahman. The rope or Brahman is always there, but the illusion of the snake or the world is temporary and dependent on our ignorance. Gold and ornaments. Another illustrative analogy used is that of gold and ornaments. Different ornaments crafted from gold appear distinct, but are essentially gold. This signified that all forms in the world are mere appearances of the non-dual underlying reality, Brahman. The diversity we see in the world is similar to the various forms of ornament, but the essence or gold remains the same. An excerpt from the first chapter of Panchadashi. Consciousness, which is our self, is inherently of the nature of supreme bliss. It is the object of our greatest love, as seen in the universal desire for perpetual existence. This indicates that our deepest love is for the self. While we may love others for various reasons, these affections are ultimately rooted in our love for the self. Therefore, the highest form of love is self-love, and since we love the self unconditionally, it must be of the highest blissful nature. Reasoning establishes that the individual self possesses the qualities of existence, consciousness, and bliss. This aligns with the nature of the Supreme Brahman as taught in the Upanishads, which elucidate the identity of the individual self with Brahman. If the supreme bliss for the self were not inherently known, we would not have the highest love for it. Conversely, if this bliss were fully recognized, worldly objects would hold no attraction for us. Thus, the blissful nature of the self, while evident, is paradoxically not fully revealed. An analogy is given of a father recognizing his son's voice among a chorus of pupils. Though he can distinguish his son's voice, its unique qualities may be obscured due to the mingling of voices. Similarly, our understanding of bliss is somewhat obscured by our experiences. We may perceive bliss, but not in its pure form due to distractions from other sensory experiences. This obstruction prevents us from fully realizing the true nature of bliss. Our daily experiences confirm the existence and ability of objects to reveal themselves to us. However, obstructions can distort this perception, leading to mistaken beliefs about their existence and revelation. The father's difficulty in recognizing the unique qualities of his son's voice due to the chorus illustrates this concept. The root cause of all contrary experiences is beginningless avidya or ignorance. Prakriti, or primordial substance, reflects Brahman, which is pure consciousness and bliss, and consists of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, in a state of homogeneity. Prakriti manifests in two forms. When sattva is pure, it is known as Maya. When mixed with rajas and tamas, it is called avidya. Brahman reflected in Maya is known as the omniscient Ishvara who controls Maya. On the other hand, the jiva or individual soul, which is Brahman reflected in avidya, is subjected to avidya or impure sattva. The jiva exists in different grades depending on the mixture of rajas and tamas with sattva. Path to Liberation. I explained in my presentation titled What is Moksha that moksha or salvation is not a product which one receives from somewhere or from some divine figure, but it is the removal of the shroud of ignorance, attaining freedom from false beliefs, and the realization of the truth which was always there. Self-realization. Moksha. Liberation or moksha is achieved through the realization of one's true nature as Brahman. This state is not a new attainment, but a recognition of the pre-existing truth. It is the understanding that one's individual self or Atman is not separate from the ultimate reality Brahman. Jivan Mukti. Panchadashi also discusses the concept of Jivan Mukti, which is liberation while living. A Jivan Mukta is someone who has transcended the illusion of individuality and experiences unity with Brahman even while living in the physical body. Concept of Maya. The nature of Maya. Maya is described as the force that obscures the true nature of Brahman and projects the illusion of the universe. It is responsible for the appearance of the manifold world and the experience of duality. Three perspectives on Maya. Worldly. For those engaged in worldly life, Maya is real and its effects are tangible. Enlightened. For the enlightened who have realized the truth of Brahman because they see through its illusion. Philosophical. For those who engage in philosophical reasoning, Maya is indeterminable, as it cannot be categorically stated as either real or unreal. Levels of reality. Most religions and belief systems claim that theirs is the only truth and the only way. However, here, the concept of truth itself is analyzed and studied. Absolute reality, or Paramarthika Satya. The highest level of reality is Brahman, which is unchanging, eternal, and absolute. It is the ultimate truth that transcends all appearances. Empirical reality, or Vyavaharika Satya. The world experienced by unenlightened individuals is seen as relatively real. It is the reality of everyday experience, but is not the ultimate truth. Illusory reality, or Pratibhasika Satya. Misconceptions and dreams represent a level of reality that is neither absolute nor empirical, but purely illusory. They are products of ignorance and do not have any lasting substance. Panchadashi offers a profound and structured approach to exiting belief systems and understanding Advaita Vedanta. It serves as an invaluable resource for both novices and advanced philosophy students, guiding them towards the realization of the ultimate truth of Brahman. Through its lucid explanations and illustrative analogies, Panchadashi elucidates the path to self-realization and liberation, making the timeless teachings of the Sanatana Dharma accessible to all seekers. Invariably, all belief systems are divisive based on the us and them idea, whereas Advaita Vedanta is all-inclusive simply because there are no two. Rather, the whole of existence is non-dual by nature. A note on terminology. It is essential to address the terminology used in discussing these philosophical concepts. The term Hinduism is not of Vedic origins, is not mentioned in any of the prime Prasthanatraya scriptures, and is a misnomer introduced by external forces. The correct term is Sanatana Dharma, which signifies the eternal path of righteous living. Vedanta, which is the peak of Vedic studies, transcends the notion of belief systems and isms, representing a way of life and spiritual practice that is eternal and universal. It is crucial to use the accurate term to honor the true essence and timeless nature of these teachings left behind and preserved by our great ancestors. Thank you. Stay blessed. Jai Shri Krishna.